Hello, friends, and welcome here to Town Hall Heroes, episode number 108. My name is SolidJake. This week we have Dunktrain, BKB, Cattlepillar joining us here on the show. Ben, I hope I got your name right. Ben Bunk?
Yep.
Yes!
Yeah.
And we'll be talking about the Tracer and Chromie, where they fit in competitive, where we think they might land in terms of compositions. Region locking, it's a discussion we haven't had in a very long time. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Support chatter, we're going to be talking about some of the threads that popped up pertaining to supports and kind of, how we feel, where the state of the supports is. Not a full-on support discussion, just kind of chiming in on it a little bit.
Jesus.
That's a sound. Also like the hype. And then the Burbank groups have been announced. But before we get into all of that, Dunktrain, what's new, buddy?
Yo, not much, man. Not much, Same old, same old. The roster changes, obviously, which we talked about a little last week, and we're going to mention again this week. Other than that, streamed a couple times, got the treadmill working, pretty happy about it. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay, BKB.
The treadmill though. I'm fine. Just playing Hero League a lot. Looking into buying a new computer. So yeah. Watching a lot of TV series though.
Like what?
Like now I watch in 4 days. No, 6 days. I watched almost 4 seasons of Arrow.
4 seasons?
Yes.
I'm sorry for you.
Yeah.
That show got so bad at the end.
Yeah, quite disappointed. But the first, most of the TV series have the first season's always the best or second, except Game of Thrones, because the new season is epic.
I haven't watched anything, so don't you say a word. I will slay you.
Oh, you haven't watched the new Game of Thrones, Jake?
No, I'm busy.
You have seen the spoiler about the Hodor, right?
No, dude, you already spoiled something.
He spoiled that there's a spoiler. Oh no.
No, I made you curious.
I'm salty.
Oh boy.
Now
BKB.
I have to binge it overnight tonight.
No, you can't imagine. No, you can't imagine.
Okay.
You'll never find out.
Wait, Hodor is a dragon?
Maybe.
Nice. It all makes sense.
Close enough.
Just like Chromie. He just chose Hodor as his dragon form. All right. Cattlepillar, what's new? Welcome to the show, man. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. Probably a year. I don't know. I've just been playing Heroes and Overwatch. That's about it. Nothing exciting.
Nothing exciting except for
other than joining C9,
swapping
of course.
Teams and,
but Dunk already said that, so I don't want to be redundant.
All right, we're going to hop on that to a bit. For myself, yard work, it's not exciting, the real-life Stardew Valley, but we actually literally uncovered a brick pathway in the yard. We had to dig the grass out, and we found bricks, and there's a whole pathway that once existed, still exists, just happened to get overgrown by grass. So that was excitable. Not as exciting as the bunnies we found last week, but that's the update for real life Stardew Valley. Beyond that, lots of Overwatch. I went to the Overwatch launch celebration presented by Coke Esports, which was interesting. We basically paid $10 to watch YouTube videos and get a cup with Tracer on it. So it was decent. It was decent. I had a lot of fun, though. The community showed up. 256 people sold out the event. It was a lot of fun for Connecticut. But let's move over and let's talk about, obviously, Cattle, you transitioning over to Cloud9. Now, for you to be a player that had already qualified with Cognitive or then Brain Power, was that a hard call to make? Be like, all right, I'm guaranteed a spot. Now I have to go and re-qualify with a different team. Even if Cloud9 has a great reputation, was that a hard decision to make?
Yeah, it was definitely a little hard just because it was very short notice, and it was I would just be leaving my roster behind and just obviously C9 was a great choice, and I was pretty confident that we would qualify, assuming we'd play well. But it was still kind of hard to just from one day to the next just leave my old team when we had already qualified the first week.
It's a good answer.
So, as you're transitioning over, obviously, I think the other big question is, you were the warrior player and shot caller of Cognitive, and King Caffeine is still on C9. So where does that put you in the C9 roster?
Who knows? Right now I'm playing flex. Maybe we'll just go double warrior every game. That's a good easy answer. But nah, I'll probably just play like flex melee heroes, some ranged for now, and then we'll see if it works.
Double warrior is quite strong actually, so
yeah,
exactly. Can really work out, and good luck with that with C9. Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is you guys are still figuring it out. You have no idea.
Well, yeah, it's been like a week. We had like 3 blocks before qualifying, and then yeah, that's basically been it. So who knows? For now, I think flex is the plan.
Yeah.
So are you the shot caller, Dunk? Is he taking over? Is he dominating the mic now?
I don't think he's dominating the mic. He's definitely more vocal, I would say, than average in our players, but like I wouldn't necessarily say he's like dominating the mic shot calling type stuff, but he definitely contributes a lot to the overall flow of our game plan with his calls, so it's definitely been helpful.
Yeah, I feel like C9's had so much success playing with like the multi shot calling contributing like play style, so it feels like it makes more sense just to like contribute as well and like fill any gaps in comms rather than like switch to a dedicated shot caller, which it could also work, but this has been working, so why change it?
I saw.
Go ahead.
I saw King Calf playing Troll actually. Is that something as well? He's gonna go practice like some melee assassins, or he's gonna just stick with the Troll? Because I know he can play Troll, but I have never seen him on Zeratul, for example. Is that something possible or no?
I think like everyone on the team has their heroes that they like to play. So there will be like a game where it'll be like, okay, I like this hero, I like that hero, I like that hero. So like everyone's on an off roll, but like on a hero they're comfortable on. So like
right.
Who gets a little weird at times, but
who plays Zeratul in your team? If it's a Zeratul pick.
Dream, yeah.
Oh, I Dream, right? Yeah, he can play it. So I guess it makes sense.
So like in that situation, I'd potentially be on arranged, or would learn Zeratul in the future, but who knows?
Okay, I guess my other big question is, obviously you're coming in from a bit of a different mentality when it comes to drafting. So have you guys already noticed like that kind of conflicting opinions like when it comes to the draft as to what would be optimal in each situation? Are you learning from each other as a result? Like what's it like in the draft?
I pretty much I kind of just let the drafting happen because I basically just solo drafted, or like me and Glau drafted on COG, and now I just like I agree with most of the drafting decisions. If there's something that I see that could be good, I'll suggest it, and then we talk about it, and then we either go with it or something else. So just kind of along for the ride for now.
Interesting. It's kind of weird hearing like perspective because like I've been on this team for so long. I don't know what it's like to be on a team with other people. So it's really interesting to hear perspective of someone who like joins the team and is like telling how it is. So it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's got to be beneficial for everyone, right? To get that other perspective, multiple angles on what you can do in different scenarios is obviously going to make you stronger at drafting as a team.
Yeah, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
Well,
and I guess it also makes for the both of the parties like and Cattle and the C9 like have more motivation, or like whenever you have a new fresh player in your team, like it kind of I don't know how to explain, but I guess you can understand how it is.
Yeah, the honeymoon period, dude.
Yeah,
you get a new player, like everyone all of a sudden like is hella interested. They want to go hard. Like, yeah, absolutely. It's exactly what it is too.
And it's time for Cattle, I guess, right? You also, you're motivated because you actually have to prove yourself and stuff. So it's good for both parties.
Okay, well, very cool. Obviously, we're very excited to see what you guys can do. You did qualify for Burbank without dropping a single game, right?
No, we lost one.
Oh, no. To who? Which?
I don't remember.
Did you lose?
We lost a game off stream to Rack Attack, I think. It was funny.
It was Rack Attack, yes.
Yeah.
It was just like a slight drafting mishap. We still could have probably won, but...
What do you think went wrong with the draft? What would have been better?
We could have swapped a hero out for a better one.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't remember many specifics. I don't even remember what I was playing.
You just erased that from your memory. You said that was not a good game.
I don't think about past games very much. They're not.
I think
that
Arthas.
relevant.
Do you play Arthas in the tournament?
I don't think we played
won that one.
Oh, did we play some Arthas?
Yeah, I played.
Yeah, you played, right? You played
against
Tassadar and Arthas, yeah.
Yeah, I played Arthas, Thrall. Maybe something else too.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like Arthas hasn't been seeing that much play. Like, I didn't see him drafted anywhere else in the qualifiers or anything. Like, I feel like he's not seeing as much play as everyone expected when his rework first came up.
It's just because everyone's taking the wrong talents.
Also,
that's a possibility.
I actually think the Q on 16 is quite bad. I think.
Oh, really?
Yes.
The one that's based on your missing health?
Yes.
Really?
Because in some situations when you're not, because usually you run double warrior, and there's a lot of situations where you're gonna not actually take the damage. So you actually want to go, for example, for the root. You know, like that's the most of the case. If you're a solo warrior, then maybe, I don't know.
Don't you get the double D at 16 as well?
No, I would go for the root. Just for the CC monster or something. I don't know. But I saw teams playing, and I think you also played with the Q, right? On 16.
I think so.
I did that game.
Yeah, I don't know. But in Europe, there's people trying out different stuff.
That game, I didn't take the root because I wasn't really in melee range of anyone. I was basically just a root bot. I was just throwing my W on cooldown, not really doing anything else.
Yeah. Especially like if you're having a game versus a double warrior and a melee assassin, like you get extra value out of it. It's insane. But
then it gets good.
Yeah. But I think next tournaments we're gonna see him a lot more. Like, I think teams just need time to adapt to what is the best with him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
he just feels like a little harder to fit into a comp. Like all the other like solo tank warriors, you can just pick and build any comp around them. If you want to pick Arthas, you actually have to like plan everything out ahead.
Yeah, that's true.
He's definitely better than before, though, right? Where he's totally a viable hero at this point.
He's definitely better.
Definitely.
I mean, he definitely seems viable.
Yeah.
There's also no telling like how drafts will work out come tournament day, so you don't know. Like sometimes even though a hero is good, they just don't see any play on a given tournament day because maybe their counter is getting picked a lot more, or like their good like support heroes are getting banned, like stuff like that. So it's hard to tell. But Arthas seems good.
Well,
definitely.
Speaking about heroes that aren't seeing as much play as people might have expected, Tracer. So we want to talk a little bit about Tracer and Chromie and kind of where we think they might land as heroes. Because Tracer, she's been tournament legal, and she's almost non-existent. And Chromie, who's not tournament legal, is she in Burbank? I think she is.
Yes, she is in play for Burbank.
So let's talk about that. So let's start with Tracer as a hero. She's not seen much play whatsoever. She does do a lot of damage, but she's mega squish. So BKB, first off, where do you think Tracer lands? Do you think she's a good hero?
Yeah, like I think we talked about this previous time, and like in Hero League she's still good. Like I really think that she's a Hero League type of hero. Like that's what I feel. Like I think Dunk brought a point last time that or no, actually it was on the other show, in the European show, they talked about her. I was mistaken, and someone brought a point that when you play in competitive, the team's more coordinated, and you'll always just like it's gonna be, she won't be able to do that much damage because she will get punished if she gets close, and she really needs to get close to do any damage, you know. But maybe in a good hands, like if the tracer is really good, it can work out. That's my opinion.
I think she's pretty solid. She's definitely like team comp dependent. She can't be against certain heroes, but in the right situation, she's like, if you have a comp that can't deal with Tracer, like she's gonna run all over you. So
what are the number
she's got her strengths.
What are the number 3 heroes that Tracer cannot fight? Top 3.
I think Brightwing probably has to be up there.
Yeah.
Because Polymorph is really hard to play again, like with like play into, and also Brightwing has Blink Heal, so she can like always get to the target that Tracer's trying to isolate and kill. So it's like really frustrating for a Tracer, I feel like, to kill a Brightwing target.
To be honest, I'm like looking at this different way. You just have a hero that kills her. Like, if she tries to go for a target, like, you have someone else who destroys her. Like, Lunara, she just kills, like, mid-late, she just kills the Tracer quite easily, for example, you know? Like,
yeah.
KT is also, like... If
KT, I think, is the big one. I think he keeps her down, because, like, you can't really play Tracer into KT, because he'll just put a living bomb on Tracer, and, like, Tracer has to E, or she dies in, like, 3 seconds.
Like, that's my point. Like, you don't have to counter her specifically with control. You can counter her with just having better heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... I think that's how it is, mostly. But yeah, like, Brightwing is super good. Zeratul could be good as well, like, in some situations. If you get the hit and you have Whirlpool Blade, it can really be painful for her. She can die, like, late game especially.
Yeah.
Uther is also fine, actually.
So what about the opposite? The 3 heroes in which Tracer will excel against the most.
Rip Chromie.
Yeah, Chromie, for sure.
Poor baby. Poor
Chromie. Yeah.
Just because Chromie's short doesn't make her a baby, man.
Well, I don't know. Well, she's actually isn't she like supposed to be a granny or something? I don't know.
Well, she's probably like 4,000 years old. She's a dragon.
Right. So she's a granny baby. It's Gucci.
Excellent.
Tracer. Who's she really good against? I don't know. It feels like she's really good against Li Ming. Like, she can always reach Li Ming no matter how far back Li Ming is. Like, she can just get into melee range and drop all of her damage on her. It's hard for her to play against that. Like, Li Ming has to play so safe. And then,
Warriors. She's good against warriors as well, mid-late. She can deal a lot of free damage, especially, versus those who cannot do anything against her. Yeah. Like ETC
Stitches.
is good. Yeah, Stitches, Joanna. Like, Joanna is okay, but, she can kite around and just dish free damage.
Yeah, she definitely can. Like, any tank that can't just immediately turn on Tracer and threaten her instantly just gets bodied. Like, they take so much free damage over, like, 10 or 15 seconds when they're trying to dance around at the front of a fight. Tracer just, like, auto attacks 24/7.
Yeah.
Okay, so compositionally, like, how do you draft Tracer? Like, is she always going to be a late game niche pick, like that 5th slot, that 4 or 5 slot, 100% of the time?
That's how I feel. Period.
I think she definitely has to be at least after the second ban phase. Like, you need a lot of information about the draft, I feel like, to see if she's good. You can't. It's not like a Kael'thas where you can just first rotate her, I don't think.
I would say at this point, until people like I mentioned, I think in some of the really, really good hands that are like really sick with Tracer, it can work out even with an early pick. But for me, maybe she's even like a Cho'Gall type, where if you see the bans and you have to ban out the specific heroes, then she can be good with. But I still think there's enough counters, and Cho'Gall has the same problem. It's
interesting. Yeah.
I mean, that's just a small comparison. I don't know if even it made sense.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of heroes in the game where, like, if you see them coming in draft, they're pretty easy to deal with. And, like, if you're looking to play one of those heroes, you need to maneuver the draft in a way that they don't realize that's coming, right? Like, the first time you see a Cho'Gall in draft and competitive, you're like, oh God, what do we do, right? But then, 3 weeks later, everyone had figured it out, and nobody could play it because everyone saw the signs of the Cho'Gall draft coming and then played around it, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she might turn out to be like that, yeah. where she's just so powerful that like once people figure out the draft that you play her with or against or whatever, she starts seeing target bans in the second phase.
Yeah, because you still can always go like mid-late for the warriors, and if they have the warrior that cannot do anything against her, then she's not forced to go in deep. Because that is really annoying if you play her right. You can just like auto-attack all the time, free damage warrior, and you're not in danger. It's like pokes you out. Like it's actually that's the hero that can, like, if you're playing a solo warrior, I don't know, I just came up with it, but maybe she's the one that can stay in front with the warrior and help pressure out the other warrior of the enemy team, you know? Like if they have Joanna or Stitches.
Cattle, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, if you, like, people are going to pick Tracer when she's good, and when you have her in a comp where she's good, she's going to do, like, she's going to carry the game. Because, like, there's going to be situations where a team will, like, overlook something, draft a comp with like low healing or low CC, and then just have heroes that can't punish her, and she's just gonna kill everyone. But it's not gonna come up often. It's just like when you get that one time, she's gonna do work.
Yeah. Oh, and one more point is that, like, another hero that is similar to, like, Lunara does a lot of like pretty much the same job versus warriors as well. She can stay in front and not be punished. And Tracer can be the same role in mid-late, pretty much, even though Lunara is still, like, sick, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Lunara definitely does the same thing to frontline, but Tracer's way more threatening if you're a range hero. Like,
obviously.
I guess you trade the safety of, like, Lunara's range for the burst potential of Tracer, like, hitting a backline target. Another problem is Tracer has no wave clear, which
13
is hard to stress enough. Yeah, until 13. I mean, that's too late for most of the wave clear maps. So that's another advantage that, like, you have to account for that in draft. I feel like wave clear is at such a premium right now in draft that.
How many heroes you get actually? Like, it's not like you always draft all the heroes to have the wave clear. You know, usually having like 3 or like 2 is enough in most of the scenarios, depending on their team comp. And when you actually get the 13, the wave clear is fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe the wave clear is important in some of the maps in early game to get in the position for the objectives, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I guess I know what you mean, but I still think you can adapt the comp with enough wave clear.
I mean,
yeah, you definitely can. It's just another thing to consider, I feel like, is all.
Oh, I guess.
Are there maps where you just would never play Tracer due to her poor, lane clear? Like,
Tomb. That is the map where you really need a wave clear.
Yeah, Tomb is the only map I feel like you wouldn't. Because also on Tomb, like, she really wants a lot of space to, like, go deep on range targets. And, like, she doesn't really have that much maneuverability space on Tomb because there's those narrow corridors and then, like, not that much running space. So I feel like Tomb is probably her weakest map. She also has a hard time contributing to interrupting the turn-ins. Like, unless she has multiple queues up to get in and out, or like E, but that's a long cooldown. It's not nearly as good as like a long range hero, for interrupting. So I think Tomb, if I had to guess, would be her weakest map, but I haven't played her personally, so I don't know. But she definitely seems like she would be a struggle to use well on that map.
If you want to try something pure cancer, and I feel like it's Dragonshire. I don't know why there's not that enough space, but all the dismounts for the rotations, or like just doing free damage all the time on the lane, and like like she can, like I don't know why, but on Dragonshire I most of the time feel that she's the most cancer on that map.
There's just not as many 5v5s, which is
exactly
her best
Yeah.
situation.
She can get to, like, if there's a 1v1 fight on top shrine, she can get there so fast. Like, you can even dismount yourself and queue in just to have the body block or free damage. I mean, you can take some damage for body block or something.
Yeah, like, I think you're totally right. I think Dragonshire is really good for her.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we got her best map, her worst map, situations where we think she'll be decent. Maybe we'll actually start to see some Tracer play trickle in here and there. Who knows? Let's shift over and talk a little bit more about Chromie. Now, Chromie, the newest hero, she's actually not even allowed in all the competitions quite yet, but Burbank is next weekend, and she will be available for play at ESL. So with Chromie, she obviously is well known for having a pretty low win rate that is, across the board, but that doesn't necessarily reflect competitive because she seems like a hero that is a high skill ceiling when it comes to just landing those Qs. She definitely can have a large impact. Her blow up capability is quite high. Well, let's just talk about where we think Chromie might land in drafts. So initially, let's actually do this kind of opposite order and start with maps. What maps can Chromie be good in, and where is Chromie completely not viable? Obviously, Battlefield of Eternity, she can't be picked there really too often. She can't race.
Yeah, Kato. Yeah, Kato, we'll start with you. With your opinion?
Maps. She's good on like poke-heavy maps where you can't get flanked and you can break like interrupt objectives. So like towers, she's good on because since the forts respawn as well, there's always some spot you can just stand on your fort and just infinitely break a point with Q. So towers definitely feels like one of her better maps, and probably, I don't know. I don't think she's very good, so I don't think she has many good maps.
Okay.
Towers is fine, I guess.
What about Cursed?
I think she'll get flanked and die. She's okay. But like, there's gonna be situations like there's always situations where you like have to fight for a third curse and it's spawned on their side. Like you have to go in so deep, and then Chromie's she's gonna die. She's good against no cleanse. That's her big thing. If they don't have cleanse,
because she has to get the combo heroic, right?
Yeah, because it lets you kill anyone instantly, pretty much.
Yeah, true. Dunk?
I think...
You have played her, right?
Yeah, I played... Yeah, okay, I put a lot of effort into trying to make her work in Hero League.
Yeah.
And, like, I lost... I think I was, like, rank 5 at one point from playing Chromie. And, like... It's actually kind of sad because she's like a kind of hero that I really enjoy, but like I could just tell so many games if I had just been playing like another hero, I could have easily won the game, but like Chromie made it so hard. I actually had some success playing Chromie on Tomb of the Spider Queen because if the rest of your team manages the wave clear, like you can contribute a little bit to the wave clear on that map because like if you're doing the 4-0, like she can at least drop a W every wave, so you don't get too behind. And then she's actually pretty good at interrupting the tributes, and like you can be safe because you can stand near your keeps while actually participating in fights, or like near your forts, I mean. Yeah. So, but like if you get behind and they kill the forts, then like you're just so flankable, you're gonna get wrecked. So like that's one of the situations where like I feel like if you get ahead or like stay even but don't lose buildings, then like she can actually be good on Spider too. But yeah, like you said, Jake, I mean she's just not playable, I feel like, on Battlefield of Eternity. You can't contribute to the Immortal. She might be okay on Infernal Shrines, if I had to guess. Like, she can definitely poke on the Shrines, and she definitely follows up on the Punishers if you can win one with her on your team. Big if. It's like, I don't think she's awful, but she's in such a tough spot, I feel like.
I just feel like once you fall behind, you're staying behind. Like,
yeah,
you can't get map back.
I agree.
Have you tried her in scrims?
We have some.
Okay, yeah. Because I'm I would be surprised that you don't use her because, she's so good with Teranda. We played I've been duo queuing a lot with Mena, and he played some Chromie today, and I don't know. I just played Muradin, and each stun, it was on Dragon Shower. Each stun was almost a kill. She needs to tap, or the hero needs to tap, or he's dead. Because I can still slow and do damage. I feel like she's actually underrated. It's just for me, just Leeming is still better than her.
Yeah,
it's only one of the reasons.
There are just a lot of heroes who can do that. There are a ton of heroes in the game who are that deadly with Muradin and with Tyrande, and she just. Chromie's good with setup. I don't think anyone's going to deny that, she's really good when she gets the setup. It's just that there are a lot of other heroes that aren't a liability to have on your team because, Chromie is a liability. If she ever is, anywhere even remotely dangerous, she's going to die. So she's a huge liability. And then she doesn't threaten more than like any random other hero, I feel like.
Okay.
Like, I don't feel like she definitely doesn't threaten more than Li Ming or Kael'thas, or even, I feel like, a Vala, or you could even put a Jaina in that role, I feel like, and it would be just as good, like, as Chromie. She doesn't do anything better than those heroes, I feel like.
Also, she can't be, like, if it's like Dragonshire, and you have, like, Mura, Tyrande, Chromie, and, like, she can't be in the rotate, and you don't really have wave clear, then the other team can literally just not rotate, just sit in lanes, and Chromie's useless. Like, she just won't do anything. And then you get to a point where, like, your comp gets strong enough that you can beat the burst and, like, hard engage on them.
The game we played on Dragonshire, like, there was a fight next to Easy Camp, and Man was staying on the mid fort, you know?
Yeah.
Behind the wall where is the Easy Camp. And they invaded our camp, and he pretty much carried the whole team. And like, if you abuse those like he did, if you like on Cursed Hollow in some positions, you also can abuse the position that there's no way they can get to you, and you have a CC warrior, ETC or Murden, then it's just easy for her to land skill shots. And yeah, like I said, she can do some stuff, but still, like, Li Ming does the same, and she has resets.
So, Li Ming does the same. She pokes from afar. She can fight. She can do PvE damage very well. She can poke with multiple skill shots. But we don't see a lot of Jaina anymore. So I want to ask you guys, is Chromie better than Jaina? Are they on the same tier in different positions? Is one better than the other?
Better.
I don't think you can really compare them. They're a very different role.
Style,
True.
Yeah. But damage-wise, better.
Like, as much as I don't like relying on win rates, it's hard to argue that Chromie's better than Jaina. Like, I feel like people are maybe undervaluing Jaina. Like, Jaina's not good against a lot of the meta, and I think the same is true of Chromie. But I don't think I would necessarily say one is better than the other. I think it's easier to win Hero League with Jaina, because you're more likely to like be able to impact the game in a positive manner without, like, Jaina can catch you up if you're behind. Chromie can't do that. Jaina can actually damage PvE elements of the game. Chromie can't do that. So, like, yeah, Chromie wrecks team fights sometimes, especially if you get an amazing position, like BKB said. But I just feel like that's not really what most games come down to.
But you get a lot of picks as well. Like, I think if you abuse duo queue and you like have a guy, like, I don't know, a friend that you're playing with on TeamSpeak, and if you actually like land that stun with a combo, you can just kill easy the target, and you don't even have to, like, sometimes the wave, you know, Li Ming, the minions block the damage of Li Ming or something, and Chromie doesn't have to worry about it. So if you're ETC, you can queue in the wave if the hero is there, like, for example, a warrior, and she still lands all the shots, for example. I don't know. I think with duo queue, she's quite good in Hero League. Better than Jaina.
A big reason her win rate is so low in Hero League is that 56% of people are taking slowing sands.
Like, one of the reasons, and also that there's like you basically need the heroes that enable her.
Yeah,
she
requires like teamwork. But I don't know. The biggest thing, like, every time slowing sands it's just not good enough.
Sky Temple.
Yeah,
sometimes it needs to do damage or something.
It's so bad, man.
It
like,
doesn't do anything.
Have you tried on Sky Temple? Like, there's a lot of those choke points, especially on level.
Even if you put it on a choke point, I've played, like, I tried to make it work, and it felt like it just doesn't do anything. Like, it takes like 10 seconds to ramp up to a relevant amount of slow.
Isn't it 5 seconds?
And then,
like, becomes relevant.
Yeah, it does take 5 seconds to ramp up, but still, like, it's like just as slow. It doesn't threaten the backline at all. Every melee assassin can just dive through it. The only heroes that even care about the slow, I feel like, are like Raynor and Arthas. Those are like the only two in the whole game that even care if that slow is there.
Okay.
And like, I don't know, man. I could not get it to work.
I disagree. On some maps, it's quite good. I have seen it worked. And Sky Temple, when I thought before she was patched out, like, I thought Sky Temple would be really good, and I think maybe JQ even mentioned it, like, on level 9 Fight Shrine, on the bottom, you get the ult, and it's like you pop your sands in the choke, and you can hold the position so good.
You just leave it there, and you make it so they literally can't contest the point. You just put your warrior on the point. If they try to enter that point themselves, it's way too risky.
Yeah, and like if you have,
but that's a very niche situation, though.
And it's so easy for her to land. It's not niche. Like I think I played. Okay, maybe it's niche, but like I played 2 EuroLeague games on Sky, and I think when there was a Chromie, it happened. Because there was all the time. I don't know why, but yeah. Like usually it's 9-9.
But the other heroic is it's what, 40-second cooldown?
60.
Oh, it is 60? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm one of those scrubs that goes slowing sands most of the time. But the other one's like a guaranteed blow up, right? It's like it's like a Kerrigan combo essentially, but a Kerrigan combo that kills you.
Yeah, the problem with it is it just cleanse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of heroes that can, like, okay, so Cleanse gets rid of it. Any Unstoppable gets rid of it. Anybody who has, like, a blink or something afterwards probably can just blink out. Like, there's just a ton of tools in the game that deal with it. Unless you have, like, a CC that follows up on it. Because just Chromie damage follow-up on it is not enough unless the target is already heavily injured. So...
I'll tell you a secret. Chromie and Nazebo hidden OP.
Zombie wall boys.
Yeah. Some Scorpion.
Didn't you say that when Dahaka came out? Like they're gonna use drag and pull them into the zombie wall.
I mean, they really need to, like, the zombie wall is actually quite hard to land. But I guess if you have a CC, you can land it easier. But still, I think with the Nazebo, I'm changing this topic for a second. With Nazebo, if they make the wall like not killable or have like 6, you have to hit 6 times to the zombie with auto attacks. I think Nazebo would be quite good because late game he does actually get a lot of HP and is really hard to kill. And spiders do the work, and he still gets a lot of damage somehow. So. I think the problem is actually in his kit that they need to make it like just more valuable. But yeah. But still, Chromie, Nazebo, hidden OP. Go duo Q, try it.
I actually think Chromie and Nazebo would be good together, honestly, because Nazebo does pressure, like, with overall damage, but he doesn't have kill pressure, and Chromie has kill pressure. So, like, you could definitely, I think you could make that work.
Secret C9 strats coming up, boys.
Oh, yeah.
When are we gonna
toads? When are we gonna get toads onto the temporal? It's OP.
Dude, that's the dream. I want a Mitt Romney Nazebo skin where he has a Make America Great Again hat and he builds walls.
One day.
Nice.
It's gonna happen. That'll make Nazebo viable.
Somebody will make a mod for it or something, like a custom art pack you could install.
It's like Arthas. They made a new skin, and after 3 weeks, he's viable.
Well, we're gonna get a Bernie Sanders Arthas. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. They make the skin and make the hero viable, so people play and buy skins.
Did I say Mitt Romney?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I was going to let it slide because I really don't want to touch it. But
this is how much I know about politics. Yes. Anyways, continuing on, not talking about politics.
Yeah, please. This is a video game talk show, Jake.
I know. I tried to make it funny and I failed miserably. So we're just, we've had a few weeks with Chromie out. You guys have obviously all tried her in scrims to some extent. Is she just not worth playing in her current state? Or, I mean, BKB, it sounds like you think that she has true potential.
I do. Like, but then again, it's like so different, I see Asmodan carrying our team in Hero League, it's the same with Chromie. It's hard to tell from Hero League. I think if people find a way how to make her work in some ways, then she still can be playable. If you cannot, like, if Liming is banned or, I don't know, picked by enemy team, but still Liming is just, I don't know, she's just better. Mostly because of the resets. If Liming didn't have the resets, then I don't know. Could be not such a big difference. Just, I think the reset has a big part of it.
I don't even know if I agree, man. Like, I feel like you could literally take away Li Ming's trait, and she's still better than Chromie.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Chromie's trait is just really low impact most of the time. Like, it's only good, like we talked about on the 9-9 fight at Sky Temple. But, like, it's just, I feel like Chromie doesn't really have very much potential right now on this patch. I feel like she's maybe a niche pick, like, once over the whole lifetime of a tournament or something. If, like, the stars align and both teams look like she counters that team and she's good on your team, then, like, maybe you last pick her. But she's definitely not going to be contested, and I don't think she'll see much play.
Maybe. Maybe I've been just playing too much of Hero League, but I've seen a lot of success. But I agree. But I still think if you have the heroes that enable her, like, yeah, it's like Li Ming has problem that it's not reliable damage because it can be blocked and stuff. But for example, W cannot be blocked, and Q does a lot of damage. And I don't know. But yeah, like
Chromie's
obviously,
W cooldown's also like 50% longer CD and like harder to hit by a wide margin. Yeah, I mean, if you get the talent, then the CDs are even. But like, and I think the talent is really good because it makes your damage like much more reliable.
Gives you a way better clear too, way better than
yeah. I think the talent's like a must on rotate maps. Like
I don't know.
Spider, Tomb, and Dragon.
But it's just like, why would you pick her on a rotate map?
Yeah, for competitive, why would you pick her? Yeah.
There's so many better heroes.
Yeah, I shouldn't probably compare her to Li Ming because like I said, I still agree that Li Ming is just better. I still think that Chromie is a bit underrated. You can make her work. You can get positions where you, like, everyone goes Calamity, for example, like, you know, deal damage with your blink and try to get resets, but you know, Chromie doesn't have to go in even, and she can deal in some situations more damage, and plus don't forget she has a control ultimate,
So I believe Browder tweeted that one of the things they were looking at doing is potentially giving Chromie more health. So that's obviously one quality of life change it could make. If you guys could all make one change to Chromie, just one ability, one difference, one thing, what would it be, Cattle?
Slightly lower cast time on Q.
Okay.
Seems a little long.
So it's like a 1 second wind up. You don't want it to be like half a second?
Like half a second or 3/4. I don't know. 1 second seems so long. Like if you see it coming and you're not locked down, and with like stun nerfs being like shorter stuns now too, like it's too long.
BKB?
I agree with Cattle, but I would maybe give her a little bit more HP. For example, Asmodon, right? He's in kind of same mechanic, right? With the poke and stuff like that, and he's so tanky, you know? So Chromie could get a little bit of HP buff. And maybe, I don't know, maybe try to experiment with passive and make it like 2 levels early or something. I don't know.
Level
I
2,
like
you get
Q.
another talent? That'd be crazy.
No, I mean, like,
it'd be level 2, and then it'd be level... I can't even... My brain doesn't work like that. It'd be 3 and 5? No.
It would be 2, 5, 8,
That's
11,
so
14.
confusing to my head.
Yeah. But, yeah, it doesn't matter. Maybe it's a bad idea, I don't know. It wouldn't change a lot.
No.
But, yeah, the window for the Q is really important. It should be longer. And maybe even make her cooldowns lower on W, maybe.
Yeah, it's a long cooldown.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't think she has a lot of problems. It just really depends on the map, on positioning, and that there's this Li Ming that is just better. But there's like she's the first like really long range. No, actually, like Li Ming is still the same. So she's the second. If you want to play poke long range, then she's still good. It can work out. But she still needs the Q buff and maybe more HP. Because her damage is not reliable if you don't have the heroes that enable her. It's easy to dodge.
All right, Dunk?
Well, I think the no PvE influence is like a really big problem, but I'm not sure what change I would make for that. So like for just the one change I would make is making the stasis traps invulnerable, because it's like really frustrating to like plan ahead. Like you're playing against a Zeratul or an Illidan or something. It's like really frustrating to plan ahead and be like, okay, I know I'm gonna get dived. Here's my retreat path. Here's my, and like I forget what the actual traps are called. Here's my stasis trap, and like I'm gonna time trap. I'm gonna like run back over it, whatever, kite him through it, and then like Zeratul just jumps on you and cleaves, and it instantly dies. You're like, cool. Like, okay. I mean, that's super fun. Like, any random AoE that hits you is also going to hit your trap if you're trying to bait people to it, stuff like that. So, like, that's really frustrating for me personally because I feel like you should be really rewarded for planning ahead and getting a trap in a relevant location. And, like, 2/3 of the time, I felt like it just died to incidental AoE, which I think is a huge problem. So I think that's the first thing I would change. I might even increase, like, the duration of the stasis or something because I think they're a little undertuned right now. But I would definitely make it not able to be killed by AoE.
If you make it invulnerable, would you still want it to be like revealed if it like takes damage, or just make it completely like invisible, untouchable?
I mean, I think you could toy around with trying it both ways. Like, I don't think it's necessary that it even gets revealed. Honestly, like it's a really long cooldown ability.
Yeah, I would like. I think I mentioned it. I completely forgot about it. The thing about her E, the stasis thingy, right? I think I suggested that if someone gets there on the skill, he instead of getting stasis, he gets frozen like asleep. You know, like I don't know. Like
you did mention reworking it so they could still be
It's a sand statue that if you do damage to her or him, it just goes away. But you can leave her, so it can be actually like a 3-second CC, so you can abuse it, you know. Or like if there's damage AoE, it's still like the hero gets released from it. And I think you could make like, and it's also like these things are more interesting for the game itself with decision making, and I think it would be a really nice buff for her, and people could start like getting hang of it and abusing it in fights and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I agree with the reducing the cast time on the Q, just because like I think it would just make her a little bit less risky. Every time I see someone Q in lane, they just die. Like it's like, oh, now's the time to just like collapse in the Chromie, free stun, hooray! Again, that's just quick match primarily. But there was a really great suggestion on Reddit, and it's actually like the top thread on Reddit right now. Do I have this set up? Yes. So the original suggestion was made by Garokathon, we're going to call him, and then the Friendly Faceplant posted a thread basically saying that at the bare minimum, her Q should be able to hit all the Garden Terrors and, Immortals, whatever. Every single boss, every single objective like that. And I love that idea. I think you should be able to queue any map objective just to give her that flexibility that she needs. The other suggestion I was thinking of in my head that I had theory crafted was to make her trait more interesting, was that she would have an activatable that would make her Q hit anything. So you activate and you make it so that she can siege up towers. Maybe it's a 30-second cooldown that empowers her next Q to be able to hit a tower or hit a mercenary or a minion or something. But I actually think I prefer this just across the board, make it so that her Q affects the objectives.
Okay, so only objectives, no minions.
No minions,
am I right?
No minions and no structures.
Then it's a quite good suggestion. Because like I think I mentioned before that one of her strengths is to not care about her position in a lineal way, that she can stand anywhere because she can still use her Q through minions, and that's actually better than having the Q hit the minion. I think actually if she would hit the minions with her Q, it would even make her worse than she is. That's how I see it. But the idea is really good that the Q works on objectives.
Yeah, so that when you're racing or you're trying to help click that plant terror, you don't like literally just have that 14-second cooldown W and then auto attacks. Like you're gonna feel worthless in those situations. It feels really bad actually.
Yes.
So great suggestion there on Reddit.
I don't know. I don't really like that.
Oh yeah.
Really?
There's a bunch of heroes that are bad on Battlefield because they can't siege the Immortal. Like I agree that it should hit Garden Terror because that's basically like the dragon and the Garden Terror are basically heroes.
Okay.
I'm actually surprised that it doesn't hit the Garden Terror, or like the player controlled
no,
one?
I think it does hit the
player controlled ones. It
does.
does. It does.
His post is talking about like the one you collect seeds from, right? The garden
Yeah,
terrors.
No, it was talking about the player controlled.
Player controlled ones it hits.
Oh,
that counts as a hero. It does
should already hit.
Yeah, it does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like,
Okay.
like heroes have their like specific maps where they're better and worse on, and like a bunch of other heroes can't be picked on Battlefield also because of like immortal damage. We can't just be like, okay, Chromie's immortal damage is weak, let's give her that, and just be like, wait, why don't other heroes get that too? Like, all heroes have strengths and weaknesses, and I don't feel like that should be changed.
Okay. Oh, I also had an idea about her Q. If they really want the wind-up time, then they should make the wind-up time for casting the spell. In the end of the spell, you can choose the direction. I think it would be quite good. Like, I think I also suggested last time where you can wind up and have the range. If you hold the Q longer, you get like sick range and more damage. Yeah, that was also idea. I think, and you. It's just, again, it's more fun and more rewarding. You hold your Q for a long time and you have to like hit it. It's rewarding because you're taking a long time. It's like Gazlo laser, you know. But if you release it really fast, then it does low damage and shorter range, and then you fix the clunky feeling with her Q.
True. I like that suggestion a lot. I really do. I think that would feel really fun and give her this whole kind of like, when she's doing that wind up, it feels cool. But what if she keeps winding up, right? That's going to look
exactly
and feel really
and choose
really
the
fun.
direction.
And if you do like a super long queue and you get the kill, like you're going to be bouncing in your chair like, oh boy, we did it,
it's
girl.
Rewarding. Yeah. And also like then her damage gets a bit more reliable as well, because Li Ming's Q, you'll make actually Chromie's Q hit easier than Li Ming's Q. That's if you know what I mean. If you can imagine how the Q would work, and I don't know, like it would make her even viable at some point without any other changes even. I don't know. But still, yeah.
All right. Well, obviously, we'll see if Chromie's played at all in Burbank. That's just, a week or so from now, and we'll see what the teams have in store for us. But we're going to transition over to the topic of region locking. And this is something that was brought up by a few people on Twitter. I tweeted out asking for suggestions. I was talking to BKB about it earlier today. I was like, you know what? That's a topic we haven't hit in a very long time, so let's do it. So,
Jake, your mic cut out.
Your mouth,
you're muted.
Gone. Rip.
Well, to us at least, maybe not to the show. I don't know if you're still doing that weird setup with two.
I am. Hold on.
We can't hear you, bro.
Yeah, I don't know if Jake is talking to the show, so I'll just fill in. Basically, he's talking about region locking, and this came about because there was a rule revision where before people were expected to live in the region they wanted to play professionally for, I think, three or 6 months or something, which is a long time.
Right.
And then, oh, hey, Jake's back.
Hey, buddy.
And now they changed it, so it's now 1 month. So in theory, someone could go to North America from Korea or Europe and play there for a month and then be on a team and play in competitive events. And that's just interesting, something to talk about. Region locking is always kind of a hot topic in all esports because seems like for whatever reason, on the one hand, go ahead.
I think it's just nature of it. If you look at the sport, hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Skype looks like it cut out for a second, but I think we're back.
Okay, what I was saying, I feel like it's nature of it. If you look at sports, real sports, and
P sports, we call them here. P sports. Say P sports.
P sports.
Don't say it. Oh no.
What does it mean? I don't know.
It means physical sports.
Anyway, like football, ice hockey. How many of those clubs have different type of country players? And I think that's one of the reasons, like, people just you get so much more experience from different scenes. You travel more, and I think that's what esports needs the most, And it will help making the teams maybe more interesting, and I don't know. I think it's also really good for the organization themselves. Like, for them business-wise as well. So yeah.
To be able to diversify a little bit, yeah. I mean, you look at again, just to give a specific example, you look at Major League Baseball. It's pretty common to grab people from other regions. Like notably, Japan baseball is really big, and there's some very talented baseball players from Japan. So, like Ichiro was brought over, and that's a big deal, and that's an exciting thing, right? They're bringing him over because they see that as a strong asset, creates a lot of media. Guess what? Now I think let's say he's on the Seattle Mariners. I don't even know. You have all these Japanese fans that you're marketing to because of one player. And the same could be true in esports too. So more of that would be nice. But one thing I wanted to talk about in particular was just we're having Natrojin playing. Natrojin, I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly. He's a 4K Korean MMR player who's playing in North America. And he's having a lot of success. And obviously, Wiz has been playing here for a long time as well. But in Heroes, we don't actually have like the Koreans being absorbed into our teams like League of Legends or even StarCraft 2 bringing like Evil Geniuses bringing over Korean players. And I'm curious how you guys feel about that and if you think there's any reason as to why that's the case.
I think in Heroes more than League, communication is really, really, really big, like huge, and the language barrier definitely hurts that.
That's true.
So I think it's definitely a factor why it isn't as popular.
You think that's the prime factor, Dunk?
No, I just think that right now the huge financial backing and infrastructure that you see for orgs in like League and big games like CS:GO, like it's just not there. So like it's really like let's say a LCS spot or whatever is $1 million. It makes a lot more sense to pay to get a business visa for a player, house them, commit to all that stuff, and like get them on your team than like in Heroes right now where there's just not that much going on, at the highest level, and like financially it's just not viable. Like, you're not going to get that much fiscal value out of importing a player that you might in like a CS:GO or a League of Legends. So I think that's the biggest thing holding it back, honestly.
BKB, would you say that's the same for like Europe to North America, and like why we haven't seen a lot of? Because like I remember at Prague last year, like Shrimpy was expressing a lot of interest to come play for North America, and so were you. That was almost a year ago, but I don't think we've ever had an actual top NA player go to Europe or top EU player go to NA.
I think one of the reasons why this is all still not happening is because of the scene. I think it's still too young, and sooner or later when it's going to start happening, and it also depends a lot on the game itself and the organizations, if they're ready to pay, help the players. And if the game is good for the organizations and profitable in the business-wise, they'll be more interested in making their teams the best and taking all the possible best players from different regions, like it's in League of Legends and Dota. But when it starts happening, we're gonna see it. But for now, I think the scene is still too young, and we had the issues, right? But now it's like, let's go through it again. What you have to do to play in different region? You have to live there for a month, right?
Yeah.
And that's it. You need to get the visa, for example. You need to stay there for 1 month, and then you can play for the team and live there, right?
I thought it was 3 months.
So.
No, they changed it.
They changed
exactly. They changed it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine. That's my point. And now I think it's really good. Like, what's living 1 month? I mean,
that's
30 days.
I think it's totally viable for someone to do it. It's just not like I don't think it's gonna happen. Like someone would have to be really motivated, I feel like, to make it worth doing.
Feels kind of risky because like, what if it doesn't work out? That's a lot of time you've basically lost.
Is it? Don't you lose the same time trying? Like, if I don't know, like if you don't have a team and you have to make a team, like, and you do it in your region, for example, and you spend 1 month and the team doesn't work out, right?
Well, I think what Cattle's saying is if the org was to fly that player,
like, you leave your own team, you move. Like that in itself.
Okay.
The team doesn't work out and you have to move back. Itself, that's like several months you've just like lost. which just feels too risky for.
Yeah.
Okay. It can happen, but if you look in League of Legends or Dota, I guess those are like high names, for example. But it's, I don't know, like in Heroes, it would be rare. Like you would probably try with the player, like with the playing with high ping, and you would still try him out in TeamSpeak, see his like shot calling or stuff, you know. And I think you would see rarely that if someone moves, it won't work out, or it will be worse because you'll still make decision before, you know, playing him at home. Like, I guess, yeah, it could be risky, but if I follow, for example, like those big names, then I haven't seen, like, it's always like the players stay for the contract or the team. Maybe sometimes they do get subbed, so you're right. It's high risk that you go there and you get subbed instead of going back to your region, and that's what the other games have.
Subs don't even exist in Heroes right now, though, dude.
Exactly.
There's literally no teams that even have 6-man rosters.
Yes.
I mean, that's interesting too. That's probably because the tournament scene is totally like on a weekend, like it's a one weekend every like month or whatever basis. Like, so you don't really need subs. But like that is definitely something too, where like if it doesn't work out for a player on a team, they don't get benched and like eventually come back on, and or like have time to improve themselves or whatever. It's like, okay, we have 5, you know, 5th gets kicked out, bring a new 5th. Like there's not any room right now on teams for a 6th player who's like the sub and like can swap in sometimes, stuff like that, which is interesting.
I would even say it's not even just that there isn't a room, it's just being that sub is such an unfavorable position to be. You don't want to be that 6th member that's usually watching and like not part of it. You want to be playing.
It happens. It's in other esport games, and it's in real sports as well, even though real sports is a bit different, but still. Like in this game, you can also have, if there's someone who is just, I don't know, like too good on Zeratul, and you have to pick Zeratul in that composition. If you know that the sub who actually is like probably the best Zeratul in the, like, I don't know, in the region for your team, and he plays the Zeratul, almost carries the team with Void Prisons or something, you know? Like this really depends on maybe that Heroes of the Storm, like mechanically, like some of the heroes are not so difficult to play, you know, like in Dota or League of Legends.
Yeah, you don't see very many players who are like really specialized in like 2 heroes is their whole hero pool, what they're really good at. Like you just don't see that. Like outside of melee assassin specifically, you just don't see that. So yeah, you're right. It does affect that, I think, too, because you can just be expected to play every ranged assassin, like
pretty much.
So why would you have a ranged assassin sub? Like either your ranged assassin is going to be better or worse, you know, not differentiated.
Yeah, and this is like HOTS is about decision making strategies and like a lot of draft and teamwork and execution. I don't know. But it's never been about the specific heroes like in other MOBA games. So yeah, and that is the reason why you actually don't maybe want to even have a sub, because you want to have those 5 guys that you have the good teamwork and you know,
spend as much time together as possible too. You don't want to take away time from practicing your main 5 for a sub practice. Yeah,
true.
That's true too.
So I guess we came up to a conclusion with this topic that maybe even HOTS is bad, like having subs in HOTS is not good. Maybe, I don't know.
Could be possible. It's interesting.
In the current state and with the amount of opportunities there are, I would say that's a definitive yes. But even just with the points, like you said, like the fact that you'd be taken away from 5-man practice and mixing that up and you know, is it worth, right? So who knows? It's a little off point of what we're talking about region locking. I guess to close out the region locking.
I feel like it's related.
I mean, I guess
it is. It is kind of related, but just to
So just to finish it up, though, do you think this is something we'll see within the year? Do you think we'll see teams start maybe adopting? And because we look at Cloud9, and you guys picked up Cattle, obviously. But did you even consider out of NA players when you guys were looking? And
no,
I'm curious. Like,
didn't even come up. I mean, also we were really short on time. So like that wasn't really an option for us to consider.
Have you ever thought about it in the past?
Nope. I don't really think like it's just not really viable for us, I think, to like import a player and house them and all that stuff for a month before seeing them play like competitively, etc.
It's budget and accessibility essentially, due to like, basically paying and.
I would actually answer for Dunk that there may be few players for example, in Korea that you can see that are really excel like that like in Europe or NA. I don't know. Like everyone can do. It's like there are players that can do almost the same job, And if you have those players in your region, then you don't have to have like specifically. I'm talking about the skill cap for the hero. This is what we just talked about, that this game more is about strategic and stuff. Like,
yeah,
maybe you value if you know that some from other region, if there's someone who is just really good with the drafts and shot calling, maybe then it's valuable. Like Dunk said,
but you can't even tell that is a problem.
Exactly.
Too. Like you can't just like look at another region and be like, oh, whatever. Like you don't know which person is doing each draft.
That's my point.
If you could pull someone from another region, like as a coach or whatever, because like you see their drafts and you're like, oh, that guy really knows what he's doing in draft and like team strats, and like use him as like you would even then probably use him as a coach more than a player even.
And knowledge from the other region as well, like mixing up the drafts and stuff. But I completely agree, and that was my point. That it's just taking a player from other region. It's so hard to see if it's even worth trying because what is his difference between the other player? Because like there's a lot of players who can play the hero almost the same way. It's just too much about the team itself and the draft itself, not the player who plays the hero. But the high value of the player, I guess, is shot calling and knowledge about the drafts and input for the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Huh. Well, that's the state of it. Obviously, we'll see in the future if teams do decide to start adopting players outside of the region. I know it's tough for a lot of players. Like if your team is based on the West Coast of North America, West Coast of Europe is a struggle. If it was an East Coast centric team that picked up a European player, that's a different story because it's much more viable. Then again, you're playing against people in the West Coast. So we'll see. Obviously, some players are more comfortable playing on ping than others. And I'd say some heroes are more viable on ping than others. I wouldn't want to play a Zeratul or Tracer on high ping. I just would not want to do that. But who knows? We'll have to see where it all ends up in the future of the game. And obviously, if things change with the basically the infrastructure and the servers, that could always improve it because as time goes on, technology is going to get better. We're going to see internet just improve globally as time goes on. Eventually, gigabit internet will be the standard. And for all we know, it's not even going to be a variable moving forward, 10, 15 years from now. Who knows? But let's talk about supports. This has kind of been, a topic that just kind of keeps coming up a little bit here and there. And there was a bit of an interview from, we don't often get the perspective of Korea. We've never had a Korean guest due to the language barrier. But there was an interview put out from Meriday essentially saying, you need to buff every single support in the game except for Rhaegar. And Dunk, you've pretty much made the same statement.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely said similar things. And it's actually interesting because from what I understand, usually Korean players are very reserved on like making statements that suggest judgment of like the game. Like, I don't remember what interview it was that like was from an MVP Black player or whatever. And like basically had said that there wasn't something wrong with like something we had been talking about a lot on NA. And
Saka?
like, yeah, I think it was Sake had said something and like, okay, that's interesting. So instead of like, they have a tendency to just talk about what's good instead of complaining about the bad stuff, which is a reasonable thing to do. But like, it's interesting. Meryday's perspective, like, agrees. I mean, I think he's articulating something a lot of us have been feeling for a long time is like, it seems like the range assassins and stuff are getting all sorts of new cool toys, and not only have we not seen a support in a long time, like they're almost continuously nerfed. Like there's just not been a support buff in a long time, I feel like, other than the alternative heroic buff. That's the last time I remember. Like every time you see a change to a support, it's basically a nerf, except the Rhaegar rework, which pretty much all got reverted anyway. So like they basically gave you this cool new toy Rhaegar that was really cool
and really fun,
and then like reverted him back to the way he was before with all the same design flaws. And like they've nerfed Uther, nerfed everything. I don't know. It's just interesting. I mean, I totally agree with them.
But Medivh, like if they, you just have to try Medivh, and if they keep releasing type of supports like Medivh and maybe give them heal, then it's a complete different thing for supports. Because I think support should...
he's a specialist,
like
Kappa.
you said. I know. But still, I think it will be played like as a second support. I mean, he doesn't deal any damage, you know. But my point is that, like you said, that supports just don't have toys to play with, you know. Like, nothing interesting with the kit. And I think they need to maybe start thinking about less healing, but more control and maybe damage reduction, where you have to like hit your ability that reduces damage for someone in the right time or something like that, you know. Not just to click Q to heal up or W to heal the whole team for Uther, for example, or something.
Yeah, they just need to do talent reworks. Like
exactly,
I wanted to mention, just like one build.
Yeah,
and then most of the supports aren't even good. So
yeah. Completely agree.
It turns drafts, like from a drafting perspective, you run into situations where you're not like, oh, we want to pick this healer for our team. It's like, oh, if we don't pick a healer for our team now, we don't get a good healer. And that's just like, as nice as it is to be able to punish, like banning out supports and stuff, it's just too easy to do because most of them are just so weak.
They should just make Zool into a support and make it so that he can heal and res things. I'm reading the Dresden Files book where there's like necromancers that heal for good.
Nice.
And I'm just like, what if Zool was a support? I'm like, Poison Nova, you got to run into the poison and like get the heals.
Heals.
That sounds nice.
Like level 20.
Touch the green stuff. Touch the green stuff.
Touch it. Yeah. I see people trying to body block to keep them out of the poison.
Yeah. You're like joking, but still. Like these things are so fun if they do it, you know, like make level 20 ult that like if you use it you get damage for enemies, but if you hit your teammate it gets heals. Like these things are what the game needs, and I don't know, some more toys to play with, more fun, more like I don't know, retarded stuff that is just fun, you know. Yeah.
BKB, you like to play with toys.
Kappa.
So
I wanted to do a mom joke, but I didn't.
Oh no.
I mean, well, part of the problem too is supports do have some interesting options in their talent trees, but most of the time they're just like not good enough. Like somebody in chat mentioned Uther Holy Shock. Like, yeah, that talent exists, but it's just tuned so far from being realistic that like it's not an option. You're actually like paying a level 13 talent to make your character worse if you use that ability as damage instead of healing.
Yeah.
And like the same, like, not that I think that's probably the most insane one, but like the same is true of a lot of things where like supports will have a talent tier that like pretty much nothing does anything except like the one that buffs their healing or whatever. And like that's frustrating.
I take Holy Shock every game on Uther. Every game.
Well, we're definitely not drafting a draft for you to play with it, and that's for sure.
It's good. I promise.
Maybe, I don't know. I was thinking, what if the game has just supports with less healing but more damage reduction or like self-healing? I don't know. When you use a spell, it takes damage, it heals the damage up, you know, like Arta's anti-magic thingy on 20 or something. And because in this game you have healing walls. It could be one type of the healing, but I guess it would make the poke heroes quite OP. if they try to reduce the supports with the heals and give them more CC and control. But I don't know. It just, if you compare again, which is not right to do it, but still, like if you compare to Dota or something, they barely have like healing supports. All their supports are crazy with like, I don't know, with sick abilities, with toys. I don't know, again, toys.
So many toys.
Yeah, maybe I do like the toys. I don't know.
No, I agree that like there's not a lot. Even the supports that have CC and stuff, it's mostly not proactive. That's probably the biggest thing. Is there's just not much that supports can do to be a proactive influence on their team.
One example, it was super good. Uther with Sprint Divine Storm.
That was so fun.
It was most fun thing ever for a support player. And and this is just like, I think, perfect example what we need back. I mean, you can carry the team with the support.
Yeah,
how great is that? You can play Hero League with supports. How great is that? You know?
Yeah, like take Malf for example. How much fun do you have playing Malf Dunk? Like, what does Malf do?
Please don't say that.
He clears waves.
He just doesn't do anything. He's just like
he's
basically a well. Like, as follow-up, you can't hit them on your own, pretty much.
Oh, like one guy said that, does that mean we need more cheese? And I think it's one of the ways that I agree. Like, the toys are the cheese thingies. I don't know how to explain. But make the game more, I don't know, more fun. But yeah, but they are doing it. I'm looking forward for Medivh.
So, Dunk, if you had to build a support, what would it be? What's your dream support? What's the most fun play style you could imagine as a hero?
Like, I think the best support ever made, like, it just has to be Thresh. Like, I hate to just pull from other games, but like,
that's fine.
He's got like a pseudo hook that also serves as mobility in like an interesting way where there's a ton of decision making. He has the opportunity to pull an ally to him, which just makes for unbelievably insane plays. Like, he's such a playmaker. It's so much fun to watch like an expert play that, because he can save his teammates or like initiate on enemies in just really amazing ways. And like, his other abilities are, I think, less impactful than those two, but like, they still are meaningful, and they like, as a wholesome thing, like, work with his kit. So I think it's really good. I mean, he just has so much proactive influence on the team. Like, he has hooks that threaten enemy spacing. He has like a disposition ability that threatens enemy spacing and like interrupts dashes if you time it right.
I have no idea what I'm watching.
Unbelievable amount of fun. And like, it's just, yeah.
Whoa.
I want a support that has like proactive tools like that.
Huh. He does look fast.
I came up with something like medic, right? You know, the how do you call it? I don't know, like IO from Dota, the wisp thingy.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, like.
Yeah, I know about. Yeah.
I was just thinking, because medic, like, it could be maybe fun at some point if they give the ultimate, for example, where you can TP like after 2 seconds or fly instantly after 2 seconds. Just make the medevac, for example, instant. That's what Wisp does in Dota. You know, you can TP, relocate yourself to you know. And I was just thinking what hero we need, and medic could. I was just thinking about it, and medic could have a buff like that, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of opportunities to make cool things, I think, but right now, so much of the support's power level is just tied into healing.
Yeah,
and that really limits the direction they can go. That's why I'm interested in seeing how Medivh plays out. I think it'll be definitely interesting to see if it actually gets played or if it just gets played in like the second support role. You know?
Yeah,
I'm really excited to see how it pans out, because I think Medivh has crazy potential. And like we said, last week's show, he's what a lot of us are wanting to see more of in the game. And although he's labeled as a specialist, fundamentally, he's exciting. It's going to be fun to watch Medivh. But at the end of the day, Medivh is going to be more of an enabler than anything. He's utility. He's not going to be the one making those crazy fun plays. He's going to be like, yo, here's a portal. Have fun, Zeratul, or whatever. You know, he's going to be allowed. He's going to be enabling. It's still cool. It's still exciting. It's still fun. And the ability to fly around as a bird and get all that vision and then set up those plays is going to feel really good, I think. But it's definitely the exact thing that I think we need for the game, Medivh.
Like now you'll have a support or like specialist, let's say. You'll have a Medivh doing the engage, choosing where to engage from, you know? She like that hero will lead the fight with the TP.
Right, could be a really good shot caller too. You're literally flying around and picking and choosing when your team does things.
Yeah, and that all decision is yours mostly. Well, it depends if someone tells where to go or TP from, but yeah, you'll be able to do something and win a fight if you engage properly from the right side. So
I'm excited for Medivh, I really am. But
yeah, it sounds like he has so much potential. Like he's not a very like linear hero.
No,
like you can do literally anything with him. Which
I mean, he's like I said, I think he's gonna
Medivh plus D Storm. That's the dream.
Medivh Storm.
Yep. I don't know. He just seems like he can. Yeah, he has just so much flexibility compared to Malf. Malf has no flexibility. He just does the same thing every game.
Nothing?
I would.
He just stands there and walks away.
Shakes his hand like this old man.
Root is not. Root has always been nice, but that's the only thing about Malf. But still, they're just
one of his skills is Moonfire. Like, come on.
It's literally a 0-mana card in Hearthstone. That's how bad it is.
That's true. I mean, even Roots used to be better. Did you know that, BKB? I don't know how long you've played, but like his root now it has like a 0.25 second windup before it can root at all, and it starts as like a point. And like it used to be an actual AoE that like was probably half a Tron stun, like right when you cast it. Like, so even then, like that's another way that he got nerfed. Like that just hurts his usability in a proactive fashion. But like, you know.
Yeah, like when there were, I remember in Alpha first days when there was only NA servers, like I think I spammed him so much. It was just so rewarding. If you click the root in middle of the hero, it's just he's dead.
It landed. It actually landed.
It was awesome.
It landed instantly.
Yeah,
and those things. And so just a second, like these things that they remove, right? The root, I don't know, Uther's sprint ult, you know, those things are nice. Keep them. Just make them. Other heroes have something as strong that those heroes had, which I have probably said every show, probably episode, that they just need to make heroes more stronger. Even though I know some people don't like it.
Buff
I got a
all
bit
the
of
things. If everyone's OP, it's fun for everyone.
Yeah, but I got hate for it when I said it. So
no, I'm with you, BKB. Just make everyone broken. Now,
I mean, people say it's dumb, but when they think about it, then actually those are the things that are fun. Like Uther sprint, I don't know. I could play Uther, you know, because I could play him as an engager, as a warrior, just goes in and sprints or something, you know.
Yeah, it just lets you actually threaten. Like, people have to actually watch out for what you're doing.
Yeah.
And, like, watch where Uther is instead of now where it's literally just, like, just watch for D-Shield. Like, Uther himself doesn't really matter what Uther's doing. It's just, like, is he in range of D-Shield or not?
Actually, it feels bad, man. Like, most of the people who are, like, watching the show, like, might not have played in Alpha, but the heroes were, like Heroes of the Storm characters, like, the heroes were actually a lot different than they are now. And, damn, those were really fun times when the heroes were dumb.
Sprint Bolt Gorge.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my god!
Like those plays were
Gorge Bolt
so fun.
What do you do?
You die.
Nothing.
You didn't even Stitches didn't even need Hook to gorge you. He just run at you.
And like that was fun to watch. Remember the days of Rewind to level 13 where Muradins and Anubarax were just like the worst thing ever. Oh god, Carrion
was so toxic, dude, with the cone that grabbed like a 80 like a probably was like 120-degree angle, actually. Like when you took the AoE increase, it was like enormous, the width of the grab. It was
just
so
do it
silly.
twice. It's just like, oh, this team's dead.
Yeah.
It wasn't combo a target, it was combo one side of your screen. I was like, I'm going to combo forward.
And again, this proves that like if we had those things and it happens in a tournament, the Twitch goes crazy. It will happen, right? Because it's a play. It's fun to watch. But how many times in this scene with these heroes you see the teams play and nothing happens? There's no plays. It's more about this team fight and having the right position. Like you'll never see someone like, I don't know, spamming. Like, I don't know.
You don't see people pop off as much anymore. You don't just see one player just go to town anymore. In the current meta, I agree. It's less fun to watch. The current meta where there's less popping off. I used to like watch people blow up, but is it fun to have a Nova walk up to you, rewind, and just insta kill you? No, it's not fun. It's fun to watch. It's not fun to be on the receiving end at all. It feels miserable, actually.
I know. But I know, and it's not only you. It's, I think, a lot of viewers, a lot of pro players that are as viewers. Like, we feel the same. I watched NA qualifiers. Like, I just watch to gain some knowledge or just see the games. But I'm not enjoying them because, like, nothing is happening, you know?
Yeah.
No one is making a play or something. But, yeah.
That's just kind of the meta, though. Everybody plays reserved. Everyone plays safe around the objective, and... It's the I mean, we see C9 go full stun style.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say play. I wouldn't say safe. It's just there are not a lot of heroes that can make the actual plays.
Yeah.
When you had Uther sprint, everyone picked him because you could actually make that play.
Yeah.
You get my point? When you had sprint, gorge, blink, you could also. I remember meta with Stitches that he was picked a lot, and you always went gorge and sprint. And he was really strong because you win just like there aren't those heroes that can make the plays, and everyone chooses this.
I want to see a lot of those kind of plays to be capable with more heroes paired together. For example, I want Stitches to be able to gorge someone and then get in a medevac and fly away. Like
exactly.
Like I want ridiculous things. Like not necessarily something that one player is able to do. But cheesy combos. One of my favorite things was watching the International one year. I knew nothing about Dota. I still know nothing about Dota. But I was watching the International with Kubi, and we were getting so hype about these pudge hooks that were being teleported back into their base and just insta-killing people. And it was the funniest thing ever to watch this person travel across the map. But I loved it.
He played it. It was international, right?
Yeah, it was TI. It was like tier 3.
I'm not sure, but I think the whole crowd was standing and like yelling and stuff when it happened.
Like angrily or hypely?
Hypely.
Hypely is a word now, friends.
And the casters were yelling. They I don't know. They hype it up. They say like he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. And then he does it, and the whole crowd yells. You know. Mm-hmm. It's just epic.
Gorge Medivh Portal. I want to shout charge
Gorge
through.
Medivh Portal is going to be sick.
Like, that's hype. That's really good for the game. That's exciting to watch. If that makes Gorge a viable thing, suddenly Stitch is getting played just because Medivh's in the meta, that's fantastic. Like, you just pop through. Yeah. Oop, here's your Malfurion. Doop, doop, doop.
Yeah.
Leave some poop, and then done. That's the Stitch's dream.
I don't know. Maybe one day we'll get all those, like... It's funny that they remove, it is like they remove the talents that are actually the best for the hero. But I guess they did it also because they don't want to have the same build, you know? I think one of the reasons, the thought process behind it is that they don't want to have the same build all the time. But then again, I would say the same thing again, that you just make the other talents good as that talent. That's the way it should be. That's the way they should at least try to looking for solution. If they don't find a solution, sure, do what you can do. Your best idea. But if you can come up with something that can be good as like a sprint on that talent tier, then I don't know. I just really wish some heroes had the same talents or the heroes were the same before. Like even Chen with pandas, like, I mean, yeah, it was broken, right? Like you're 1 HP and you pop your ult and you don't get any damage.
Pals, yeah.
I mean, okay, it was super strong, but it's not like he had all the time 100 win rate or something. There was something that you could make a play of as well. It wasn't a high play or something, but you pop it in the 1 HP and you get the max value, you know, because they use all the abilities or something. Yep. Or Tychus, you know, getting the 2nd HP, popping Odin when you have 1 HP. And then it's like, oh, you just won the fight because, you know, you timed the ult and everyone, I don't know, hypes out, you know, I don't know. Those things were great for the game. Just needed to buff other stuff.
And like we said, Medivh could very well enable that kind of stuff, which is really good. And I just hope we see more things like that in the future. Like, I like the classic combos. Even just Miranda, which is just lining up 2 stuns. Like, that is a pair that you know to expect. These 2 heroes having a specific synergy that's going to give them a certain kind of impact on the game. And I love that. The back when we had the super OP lightning shield on Rhaegar Illidan, Rhaegar, like any frontliner with Rhaegar was scary, right? And that's a good thing. I think that's what makes supports compelling to an extent. Like, oh wow, they enable this. They are really good at this. They, you know, in this matchup, blah 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 blah. You know, I think supports need to be in that kind of place. Any final thoughts on just, you know, supports in general and kind of all what we've just been rambling about? Nice.
Just give them cooler talents. Cool. Yeah. Just give them talents like Medivh and like skills like that.
Sweet.
Just exciting things.
Make it so all supports can fly. Yes.
Absolutely.
Do it, Blizzard. I want to see Mal flap his wings. Let that be a reality. Okay. Last but not least, tonight we are going to be talking about the Burbank groups. Briefly, this is going to be kind of the focus of the show next week as we're setting up for the tournament. And Dunk and Cattle, as far as I understand, you guys will be traveling next Wednesday, so I don't even know what's going to happen for the show. And if you guys will have access to the internet, we'll figure out that then and there because, well, Burbank is around the corner. Anyways, bam, we can see that these are our groups. Naventic, Panda Global, Astral Authority, and Tempo Storm is Group A. And then, well, let's just talk about Group A first. So, you know, Naventic, #1 seed here for the event. They qualified in the first qualifier with Brain Power, so they're the top 2 seeds. And then Tempo just qualified this past weekend with Astral Authority in qualifier #3, and Panda Global #2. So would you say this is pretty cookie cutter and that it's just straight up Naventic, Panda Global, or where does Astral and Tempo sit?
To me, it
Naventic should win the group.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much a definite. And then I actually don't know whether Panda or Astral will come out second seed of that group. I think it's an interesting situation because I feel like those teams, I think the Panda Global roster, formerly Blaze, was really good, but they haven't put up that great of results lately. I feel like their DreamHack performance wasn't as dominant as I expected relative to the other teams that they played against. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see Astral Authority come out of the group, but I think Panda has like a slight edge. And Tempo is just floundering right now. I think they're going to have a really hard time making it out of groups.
Yeah, I have pretty much the same opinion.
You think, guys, is it just because they're like swapping up roles, putting Ziggs on Ziggs' Warrior now, and they've got TigerJK healing? You just think
they're changing so many things.
They're just scrambling to try to figure it out.
They need more time at the very least. Like there's been so many roster changes and probably shot calling changes and role swaps and
yeah.
It seems like every week Goku and Tomster are swapping back and forth between melee and like ranged. I don't even know who actually plays melee now for them.
I asked KO to come on the show this week, and that's exactly what he said. He's like, we need to practice every moment we can. I cannot commit time to the show. We need to be practicing. So they're taking it seriously. They know that they need to work hard, and we'll see if they can pull something together. All right, moving.
I would say as well. that Naventic are gonna be first and second gonna be Panda. Yeah.
But Astral Authority did make some waves at DreamHack Austin. You think they might have a chance, or?
I saw DreamHack Austin. I think Tempo Storm have, like, I talk with people and I have heard some stuff about Tempo Storm that their performance last time wasn't that good. But I wish them best luck if they practice a lot now and find out the way that they can work out with each other, then maybe. But Astral Authority, I think, is stronger than Tempo Storm. But I still think Panda Global is stronger than Astral Authority. But they maybe have a chance. But I would still say Nomantic first and Panda second.
All right, well, that's Group A. Group B, Brain Power, Gale Force, team name change, and then Cloud9, that 4th seed.
Pretty much, I mean, I don't know what to say about this group. Like,
so, Brain Power.
I can start. Because you're not Cloud9.
Do we know?
I'm not Cloud9.
Yeah.
Go ahead, BKB.
So, I'll say that Cloud9 will probably be the first. I just don't know how it's working with you again, with like having a new player, and it is a big difference. But I think if you play your game, you will be first, and then it comes down to Gale and Brain Power, and I actually have no idea. Like, I know Brain Power has a new player, so it could be an issue for them.
Has that player been announced? I haven't even heard myself.
But they need one.
Yeah, I think I know who it is, but it's not like, I don't know if they've actually locked it in.
Yeah,
so
I'm not announcing.
Spread
I'm not
any
asking you to
rumors.
leak it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not going to spoil anything. Not going to leak anything.
And that's the reason why I can't tell who is better, Brain or Gale.
It's hard to say how they're going to do, just because different shot caller, different drafter, different 5th member. They're potentially going to be very different. Maybe it'll end up being better. Maybe not. Not sure.
I wish you not to choke, with a new player. Not to saying to Cattle, but like to the whole Cloud9 team, because it's actually having a new player in LAN event. Sometimes it just doesn't work out as a team, not as a player. That's what I'm saying. But no, like Gale Force, I have seen some really good games. I think it's probably your strongest opponent.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, so you don't let your guard down, because I still think you're gonna be first.
No, I'm
don't
with you,
forget
though.
that.
I think Gale Force is the big threat here at this point. Not to discredit Brain Power, but Gale Force is a team that had only been together for 3 weeks going into DreamHack Austin, and they looked nice. They looked really good.
They definitely had some really good games. They looked good in their good games, that's for sure.
And they have, they're going to bust out that Asmodan pick on maps where they feel like they can get away with it. They've taken games off, they beat you guys in the qualifier with that. They did that again in DreamHack Austin. Like, they have very specific strategies, and they have a lot of specific comps that they're happy to pull out in certain situations. So I think that makes them both scary, but also potentially predictable at this point, because they've shown a lot of their stronger strats in the last few events, and if they don't have more of those, that could hurt them. But I'm expecting a lot out of Gale Force. I really am. Dunk's smiling. He's like, well, we know their strats. We got their number now.
I was actually laughing at the I feed King Kafid meme in Twitch chat. That cracks me up every time, man. Oh, God.
K1 throw, feed train, cattle feed.
Yeah. Cattle feed, the newest addition to the feed roster. If Gale Force shows up, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. We saw last time their semis match against Naventic, if I'm not mistaken, looked really one-sided. So maybe some land nerves or something to work out before they can, challenge for a top seed, try to make it to the spot to Sweden. But we'll see.
Well, those are our groups. We'll be, diving a little bit more specifically in terms of the matchups next week based on where everything's sitting. And obviously, we don't know exactly if Dunk will even be available for the show next week, but we'll figure that out going as we get a little bit closer.
And good luck, obviously. I hope you go to Worlds and think you can do it. So just have to play your game, and I think it's gonna be fine.
Thanks. We will do our best.
Obviously, just be
Hey then.
no. What I'm saying is be confident, but don't underestimate the opponents, and I think you'll be fine. Just stay confident. I think it's important in this game, especially like in everything, pretty much. But yeah.
Well, on that note, guys, that is going to do it for tonight's show. Let us transition over to the shout-outs. Cattlepillar, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, you said you killed your stream early. Where can these lovely viewers tune into that stream semi-regularly?
Twitch.tv/Cattlepillar, just my name.
Oh my goodness, it's right below him.
Yeah, I finally got a new computer, so I can actually stream pretty well. So plan on doing that more regularly. Of course, Burbank's gonna delay that a little in a week, but yeah, other than that, I'm on Twitter, and yeah, shout outs to C9 for picking me up. It was very, very sudden change, but I'm looking forward to it, and I think it can be really good. And yeah, that's about it.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do with the team, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, BKB, last week I was watching your stream as well. You were streaming with people from 5 different countries, and you guys were all slurring the R's. Can you explain that to me before you do your shout-outs?
What do you mean R's?
I can't even do it.
No, it's like Mena does it. Like it's his, I don't know.
So you just
I don't know what is it.
Oh, okay.
It's like he's shooting someone when he kills some, he says brah, and that's it. Like I don't know, but yeah, like I stopped streaming for the last few days for some reason, but like I usually stream, so if you wanna check me playing, it's at twitch.tv BKB Grunjepek, easy, and I'm on Twitter as well, Liquid BKB, and yeah. And thanks for coming by, Cattle. Like, it was fun, and good luck as well. Like you personally, I hope you prove yourself.
Me too.
Yeah, good luck with that, man.
Yep, thanks.
Lord Dunkus, you also booting up that stream.
Yeah, I actually have streamed now twice in the past week, which is twice more than the 3 months before that. So we're on a good record. We've gotten some streams working. Trying to do it more often during the week, but it's just really easy for things to come up, and interrupt your streaming time. So I have to try and get, a schedule worked out, maybe really commit to doing it, give it the time it deserves. But other than that, team stuff going on, trying to get all that worked out, practicing with Cattle, same old. Got to get that Sweden spot. So that's what we're looking forward to. And I hope we show up to the LAN and we'll do our best.
Okay, one question about the treadmill, right? So, does that work? I saw you stream, and I think you did fine, but like, is it difficult to think when you're doing the treadmill thingy? Is it hard to actually follow the game?
It's a little bit distracting, but it's not huge. I would say I definitely play worse, but not like game-breakingly so.
Have you started doing subs for speed increase?
I mean, I actually should do that. That would be really funny. But then, like, what happens if you get like 10 subs and then like you just can't keep up while you're playing? Like, you stop being able to play the game.
So
once you just have to end the stream early.
No, you fail and the counter starts over again. I mean, the stream is trying to ruin you. That's their goal, is to ruin you. That's a good. I would sub.
Yeah, I could earn my SolidJake sub right now.
Yeah,
I just turn on the treadmill and say, Jake, I'll speed it up.
That's all I got to do, man.
Yeah, well,
easy money.
Maybe we will see. I'm just waiting for the first time that I fall off and like hit my face and just like a total idiot, and the GIF goes viral or whatever, like on Twitch. Yeah, that'd be great.
Just have an extra camera so we get multiple angles of the fall. So
yeah. The disaster. I mean, it has to happen once, right? Like, if you stream for 1,000 hours or whatever on the treadmill, you have to fall once, right? Like, it just has to happen.
It will happen if you do the sub thingy.
Yeah.
But it's a nice meme, man. Like it's win-win condition.
Nice
we
meme.
talked about this.
Yeah.
People are gonna make a meme out of you, and you're gonna get some money, and some new subs. So it's win-win condition.
Like, before you know it, your beard is just going to be full of dollar bills.
Yes.
That's how it happens.
Yeah, like instead of putting money like under like girls' bra, they just put in the beard.
Uh-huh. It's like basically the same thing. Let's be real.
Kappa.
Oh my god. All right. Well, friends, thank you all so much for tuning into Town Hall. Here is episode number 108. Tomorrow night, or 4 p.m. Eastern, will be Town Hall Overwatch. Obviously, Overwatch is that new, big, juicy title that everyone's raving about. It'll be our 8th or 9th episode of the show for that. Just tune in and check it out for the first time because it is a lot of fun. We're talking a lot about the launch and a lot of the other stuff. So, bam, bam, bam. We'll be back next week with Town Hall. Dunk might be there, might not. Cattle, thank you so much for taking your time to end your stream early and join us. And BKB, you're so Gucci. We'll see you next time.